Hello and welcome. This is Alchemistexe and this is the weekly update. So we have got 3 new Job+s this week, as well as one of them, the units available for free on a challenge board. And other than that, there is not a whole lot going on this week. So you can get Spica for free. Oh, let's actually do that right now. And then you can also get 150 of her shards. So if you're on the newer end of the spectrum, that's a good little head start to get her going. She's just a normal farmable unit that has now 2 normal pool Mementos out. So she's a very good, like, free-to-play friendly unit. I used to like her quite a bit back when like Enlightenment was only 3 gates, and then she just didn't get upgraded for a long time, and now she's back. And I'm glad to hear that. And then the other 2 units that got Job+s are Zahar and Corvus. So they make up a group called Shadow Messiah. Let's just take a look at them real quick. So, whoops, that's Tamamo. There we go. So, for Spica's Job+, you're going to get the tokens and the pieces from just doing the normal levels. So each one of the levels corresponds to one of the gear pieces. And then for Corvus, you're going to find his Job+ pieces in the EX level for the event. And then finally, for Zahar, oh, I actually haven't changed him yet. Whoops. I thought I did that earlier. I forgot. That's okay. But you're going to find his stuff in the multiplayer level. So it's going to say nothing to display, because apparently they didn't know how to have a button take you to multiplayer. But it's a separate level. It's very similar to the EX, kind of similar gimmicks with the enemies and wanting you to use slash and or jump damage. So very tailor-made towards Shadow Messiah units, which, you know, makes sense. So that level is called King of Darkness, and you'll find it's just right next to the other EX. And it's a 2-player one, so you bring in 2 characters. But I've seen people reliably auto it. It's not super bad. If you're on the newer end of the spectrum, you could probably get carried by someone, just in case you want to get this stuff before the event ends. Because even if you're not ready to use any of these units, I recommend just getting the Job+ anyway. I always recommend getting this stuff while it's around, because you never know what might happen. You might pull a unit unexpectedly. You might end up with a truckload of their shards suddenly. And then it's a good idea just to have as many tools in your toolbox as possible. But yeah, that's about it for the new stuff. There's a couple of other things that are less significant. You can get some of the, whoops, that's story. You can get some of the Truth Seal Enlightenment stuff for free once a day. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. But I definitely recommend all 3 of them. I haven't done extensive testing with them. I soloed a few levels of Spica, and she's definitely awesome. Corvus seems like he's pretty good. I don't know exactly how much this will bump him up, but it seems like a pretty solid kit, especially on a magic heavy level. And then Zahar is going to become an absolute beast of a damage dealer. I have to farm out the rest of the stuff. It takes a little bit longer than the other 2. But with that, yeah, let's move on and take a look at the banners. Okay, so this week kind of sucks for banners, so it's going to be much shorter than last week. The paid summon is bad because all of the units are farmable in some capacity, and all of the mementos that come with them are normal pool. So, say the best case scenario is you get either Spica or Zahar. You get a bunch of shards of a unit that you probably already have tons of shards of. And then you get a memento. That's like good, but everything else would suck, because then you're paying like $30 to get just something you could get for free anyway. Never recommend doing that. I think if you're going to spend money, you should get something limited. The next up are 3-step special summons, which is a bad one for Corvus and Letitia, and a bad one for Carla and Mashari. Quick note about Mashari is that you can buy 100 of her shards for real money. It's like, for US currency, it's $35. If you're a kind of dolphin to higher spender, that might be worth it for you. I don't know. Not to me, but it makes more sense to me to just do that rather than to, you could easily spend more than $35 worth of gems and not get anything. So that's my perspective on that. Then we have a banner that I think could be good for newer players if they're willing to throw the gems at it, because you do get 3 free steps at the end of which you would get a 375 soul shard selector, which of the units available, I think Letitia would be the most logical choice in this context, because say you're kind of new, maybe you've beaten the Babel Chronicles, but you're kind of like behind on getting Letitia built up, because having a properly built up Letitia means that you can clear a lot of content easier, because she just skyrockets the damage of your magic or M attack scaling units. And I could see a 375 boost to that being worth it, but only for people that are newer and comfortable enough gem-wise to throw them at 4 steps of this. And I imagine that does not describe the majority of people. So for the majority of people, I would say skip. Then we have the Memento banner, which includes the 2 new Mementos for Zahar and Spica. Not terrible, it's just all the Shadow Messiah Mementos. But it is worth remembering that they're all normal pool. So I don't think you should ever 9-step for a normal pool Memento, because chances are you'll just end up either randomly getting it or getting it via selector eventually. So that if you're really in a hurry to get it, you might want to wait until next week to get another discount ticket stacked on it, because the banner's not going away this week. But otherwise, I'd still think that it's better to get it for free. Next up, we have another one for Mementos, that is Mashiri and the Setsuna Mementos. I mean, I like Setsuna, I think she's pretty good. But I'm not like, I'm not about to say, hey everyone, throw your gems at this. They've all been around for long enough that it seems like everyone that would have wanted them would have gotten them. And if you are newer and you love Setsuna, then I guess this is your chance. There's also a gear banner with a new gear on it. I looked at it. It does not look amazing to me. It gives you some extra HP when you appear on the map and a couple other stats. It seems like gear slots are too scarce, though, for that kind of gear to really jump out at me. Let me know in the comments, though, if any of you love that gear. In general, I don't talk about the gear summons because I just think that they're a waste of gems in almost every case. If there's ever one where I say, hey, this one is really, really good, I will let you know. Like, say, back when the Kuden Scarf came out, that was one where it was like, okay, this is a standout gear that you might want to pay attention to. But most of the time, it's just always a skip. So if it's always going to be a skip, then we'll skip it. But yeah, so that's it for the week. Some pretty good content to do. Not really any good banners. It's a good cooldown for post-collab. And with that, I will see you all next time.